Hey guys, this is Alex. I apologize, guys, for not getting this video up earlier. I actually made the video earlier, like a day ago when I said I was going to post it, but it was 17 minutes long, and I don't have the clearance yet to post longer than 15-minute videos. So it didn't let me, and then work called me up again. So I'm doing the video now so I don't forget. But just to let you guys know, um, the way I'm going to do this video so I can cut down on it, I'm going to let you know right now that I'm going to get right into the video. I'm actually going to watch the video as I commentate for you on it. That way I can give you my first reactions to it. I mean, I've already seen it at least 30, 35 times, but I'm going to give you my reactions to it as I watch it. That way I can give you guys just my initial opinions right there. So I'm going to get into it right now so I can keep this below 15 minutes because I have a lot to say. So, all right, guys, let's get to it. If you see me looking down, it's just because I'm watching the thing on a separate screen on my laptop. Okay, so I brought. Excuse me, guys. Got a little bit of a sore throat. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to watch it for 30 seconds, narrate on that, watch it for the next 30 seconds, narrate on that, and then for the last 30 seconds, I'm going to narrate on that. So let's start this out right now. Okay, guys, so as you can see, just watch the first 30 seconds of the video. So what I'm seeing is that the very first scene is we see three people coming up a walkway. It looks like on a walkway up to a mountain, like a path, um, holding a light, and then the village down there is in a big blizzard. So it's I'm wondering, where is that? It's obviously one of the poles. It's not going to be the North Pole. The North Pole has a more elaborate building system, so it's got to be in the South Pole. But I'm just wondering, is that Korra's village? Is that how the Southern Water Tribe looks now? Much more advanced, since Paku came down with some other Northern Tribe people to reinvent the Southern Tribe. So that's something to think about. Then also, another thing that we saw was Appa. I mean, we saw Appa, flying around, and to what looked like the Avatar's home, maybe in the Southern Water Tribe. So that's kind of what it looked like. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm speculating that it is. It's going to be the Avatar's house in Southern Water Tribe. Um, it had the open area, looked like a training area. So we saw that. One thing that I'm pretty sure is that I have a feeling it's going to be a big thing in the series is when we see the lighthouse, the island with the lighthouse on it. And if you look very closely around the lighthouse, you see little specks flying around the lighthouse, and it's interesting to think because if Aang was the last Airbender, and we already know that he had three children with Katara, so we know at least one of his children was an Airbender. That was Tenzin. So it's gonna be interesting to see, did Tenzin have children? Like, are those his children that you see flying around, or are those like the same people who used the glider technology that we saw when Aang went to the I think it was the east. I'm not sure which air temple it was. I think it was the Eastern Air Temple, but we see him go there, and so it was interesting to see that. So I was like, are those airbenders? Are they now repopulating, or are those just going to be, you know, the people who use the glider technology? So we see that. Then we also see probably one of the mainstays that people are going to take away from this video. We see uh, the statue of Avatar Aang uh, in the harbor of Republic City. So we see that it's an epic statue. It really captures what Aang stood for. His pose, having his staff out. We saw that pose many times throughout the series of Avatar. So it was good to see that. It was good to see the Aang statue because as we know, or if you don't know, I'll put the link into the description down there at the bottom. Republic City was actually invented by Fire Lord Zuko and Avatar Aang, and they brought people from all different kinds of nations to live in the city as a coherent, um, cooperative, and hopefully wound healing kind of situation. If you live together and had to depend on each other, then I'm thinking that their mental thinking was you'll learn to rely on each other, and I'm guessing it worked out pretty well. If the Republic City still if it blossomed that much, however, there is also anti-Bender sentiments in the city, as we know, the Equalist. Okay, so the next 30 seconds, it's gonna roll by now. Oh, I apologize, guys. Also, we see Korra leaving her. If you see me looking down, we're re-looking over the video really quick just to make sure I don't miss anything for you guys. Oh, and then we also see Cora leaving her house. We see her parents in the doorway, so hopefully we get to see a clear picture of them when the series comes out. But we see her riding her polar hound, which one of my subscribers did correct me on. It's a polar hound. Thank you very much. I appreciate that because I called it a polar bear in my previous video. So we see that, and then we see her sitting outside of Republic Harbor, kind of looking over the city. Probably, if I was in her spot, I'd be thinking, where's Tenzin? How am I going to find him in this city? So that's what I'd be thinking. So here comes the next 30 seconds, guys, and let's get to it. Okay, guys. So the next 30 seconds that we see from 30 seconds on to a minute is we see Korra bending. This is not a new thing we've seen. It is the beginning of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Excuse me. So we've seen this before. This is nothing new. We've seen it. It's a Korra bending. It's nothing new. So that really wasn't a surprise. I was expecting that to be in there. The next thing that we see Republic City, and the city is beautiful. I mean, the city is it's polished. It looks clean. Has a beautiful lake. Has a beautiful. I'm guessing that leads out to the harbor, so that's got to be a bay in there. So it's definitely a beautiful place. We see the blimps. I find it interesting that the blimps are actually a part of this because if you think about it, the blimps are very ironic. They deal with it goes back to when Aang went to the Southern Air Temple when he saw the people that were living in the Air Temple. The father of Tio, who was in the wheelchair, was making the blimps for the Fire Nation. Then they were used against the Fire Nation to repel them from coming to the Southern Air Temple. Then the Fire Nation got the balloons, used them for the war balloons. Then we saw them again on the Day of Black Sun on the invasion, where they used it to bomb the submarines, and Azula used it as her personal kind of shuttle. Then we see it again in the Western Air Temple, where Azula comes to end Aang and Zuko while Zuko this time joined the group, and we see it again. And then, of course, the iconic one we see it in the last episode of season 3, where Ozai is actually riding one and burning fire across the landscape. So we see that. So that's that right there. We see the city. We see the bridge. The bridge is actually inspired by two bridges in the United States: the Golden Gate Bridge, which is in San Francisco, and the Brooklyn Bridge, which is obviously in Brooklyn, New York. So we see that. So that was just a history of blimp technology. Sorry, guys, just that out there. Then the next thing that we see is we see the park. The park is actually, if you don't in the United States, I'll outline it a little bit really quickly. It is it's a model of Central Park, which is actually in the middle of New York City. It is probably one of the most famous parks in the world. You can definitely tell by the archways, the little archways going over the little streams. And you can tell by the different coloring and the changing of the trees and their locations, and the big open center in the very middle. That's what Central Park really looks like. So, um, that park was inspired by Central Park. So just wanted to let you guys know that one. Then the next thing we're going to deal with in the next is the palace. Personally, guys, I do not know where this palace has come from. I've looked at many different palaces. I've looked on the internet. I've researched them. Um, I found no mention to what this palace actually is a representation of. It could just be someone drew it and it looked like this and they liked it. But I looked at the Taj Mahal. I looked at Windsor Castle. I looked at a lot of different ones. I could not find one that matches this, so this is just pure speculation. I think they drew this castle. Well, not castle. Well, yeah, castle. I mean, a royal establishment, I guess you want to call it. Personally, I don't think it's a royal establishment at all. I think this is a town hall, kind of, because it's not a nation. It's not a nation in itself. It's a city. It's a republic city. So I think it's a town hall like that. So that's what we're doing with that one. And then for the next 30 seconds, guys, let's finish it up so I can get this video actually rendered to you guys. Okay, guys. So I just finished up we're gonna finish up watching the video. So the main thing we're going to talk about here in the next 2 minutes or so, and actually, I'm not going to be able to talk about it all in this video. I'm going to make a part two of this because I have a lot more to say about the last part. So what I'm going to say for this part is, and I'll leave the what I'm going to talk about next, is I want to talk about the firebending, because Korra seems to really enjoy firebending a lot more than she seems to use earthbending or waterbending. Now, I don't know why this is. Waterbending is actually the opposite element of firebending, so it's the opposite element. It's the hardest to use, as Aang found out with Earth. So I don't know why she uses it. That's just me. I don't know why we So it's gonna be interesting to see that, because she's obviously the head of Nickelodeon has called her headstrong, and ready to take on the world. So that kind of sounds like firebending, I guess. So maybe firebending more fits her mentality than waterbending, even though it's her native element. We also see um, the metal bending police. The metal bending police, as you know, is made was invented by Toph. Toph taught her daughter. It's gonna be interesting to see who Toph's husband was. That's gonna be interesting. That's I'm gonna deal with that in my next video. Um, and so Toph's daughter is the head of the metal bending police in United Republic. I mean, excuse me, not United Republic, Republic City. And then we also see the main bad guy. I'm not going to deal with him in this video. I'll deal with it in the next one. So, guys, I appreciate if you like the video. Leave a comment so we can have a discussion about this. The more I know, the more you know, the more you know, the more I know. And so it's just a flow of communication. It's a flow of knowledge. So, guys, have a great night. It is really late here. So after I put up the next video, I'm probably going to head off to sleep. So, have a good night, guys.